Hi, everyone. You're listening to It's Not That Hard to Homeschool High School, the podcast where we take the overwhelm out of homeschooling your teen. I'm Ann Carrico. I'll be your host. I believe that every mom can confidently, competently, and yes, even contentedly provide the complete high school education that her teen needs. Get ready to be encouraged, inspired, and empowered to do just that. Well, hello there, and welcome to my very first podcast episode. I am so excited that you are here. I am so excited to be starting this new project. I am Ann Carrico. I blog at annieandeverything.com, and what I talk about is homeschooling high school. So if that's what you're doing or thinking about, then you are in the right place. Let me tell you just a little bit about myself. I have 5 children. And we homeschooled all of them, K through 12. 4 have graduated, and all have gotten accepted to colleges. I've got one with a master's degree. I've got one with her bachelor's. I've got one that decided to stop doing college and work full-time instead. And I've got one who just started his freshman year this year. And my last child, she is still homeschooling at home. She's a junior this year. We started homeschooling when our oldest was 5, entered her into our little homeschool kindergarten, and the rest, as they say, is history. Here's something else about me that is very crucial to understanding my purpose behind this podcast. And that is that, well, to put it bluntly, I'm essentially lazy. In other words, I want to find the easiest way to do things. I do not want to have to spend more time than necessary doing anything. So I will find streamlined ways to clean. I will find easy ways to cook. I'm definitely not your gourmet cook, that's for sure. And I also, through our homeschooling years, tried to make that as simple and as easy as possible so that we didn't get bogged down and my children could enjoy the learning process and also have a good education. When it came to high school, that became just a little bit more intimidating. But after having gone through this whole thing 4 times and almost 5, I can tell you that I've learned a few things and that it doesn't have to be that hard. And you know what? That has become my goal for my blog and also this podcast. I want to reassure all of those moms out there who are either homeschooling high school now or thinking about it for any time in the near future or distant future that homeschooling high school is a very doable thing, as long as you distill it down to what works best for your kid and your family. It can be very overwhelming to listen to all the voices out there when you do your research and you hear all of these things that you should or must do. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do all those things that they tell you that you do, that it's actually quite a simple process to figure out what is needed, and we can just go from there and talk about so many things. And that's what we're going to do on this podcast. It's going to be a great time. Some of you may have heard of me already, others may be new to me, but I'm thinking maybe some people are wondering, why do you want to start a podcast? And I'll tell you what, I have actually gotten a snarky response from somebody about that very question. I polled my email subscribers and asked them if they thought I should do a podcast or if they would listen to a podcast if I did it. And one gal wrote back and said that she was so over the whole thing where first you start to help somebody, help people, and then you start wanting to make money, and then you start a podcast, and it's all just one thing after the next. And I just want to reassure you all that that is not what this is about. There's a couple things going on here as to why I wanted to do this. The most important one is that I have felt really limited for a long time in how much I can help people who are homeschooling high school, because I obviously don't know everything. I've only taught my kids, and I can't speak to every issue out there. And I just wanted to provide more content for people about what they really need to learn about. Things like unschooling or schooling with ADHD or anxiety or dysgraphia or dyslexia or unit studies or, well, frankly, the list goes on and on about what I don't know about. So I wanted to have a vehicle where I could present information about all of those things to people that need it. And a podcast is a wonderful, wonderful way to do that because I don't have to know everything. On my blog, I'm the one that's doing the writing, and that means I have to know a little bit about what I'm writing about. And I will continue to write about the things that I know. But on the podcast, I thought this would be a great opportunity to bring guests on who know about those things that I don't. And so I'm looking so forward to learning about these things along with you, my listeners, as we explore a lot of these different things. And the content can be delivered to you much more quickly and much more consistently than if I'm having to figure it all out on my own. And so that's going to be the best thing about this podcast, is the ability to help so many more people about so many more issues. And I'm really looking forward to that. The other reason I'm starting a podcast is actually just a personal one. I actually really enjoy talking. And so I thought it would be fun to try this for a while and see if it runs smoothly. I love chatting with people. I love speaking when I get the opportunity to do it. And so I think this is one way to utilize the talents that God has given me. So that's kind of a secondary reason why I wanted to start a podcast, but still a valid one, I think. So where do we go from here? What's going to happen next? Well, this is just an introductory episode, so there's not super much exciting here, but I will tell you to hang on till the end because I do want to encourage you today, and I think that will happen if you do hang on to the end. I intend, though, to start a series right away. And it may be kind of ironic what I'm going to call the series, but we're calling this the 5 things you should know to homeschool high school. And you're thinking, but wait a minute, she just said that she doesn't want us to follow all the shoulds and the musts that everybody's saying, that it doesn't have to be that hard. And now she wants to start out by telling us the 5 things that we should know. Well, first of all, let me just reassure you, I am using the word should rather loosely. There's really only one should in high school, one must do when you're homeschooling high school, and that's what we'll talk about tomorrow. The other 4 things are things that I recommend, things that I think would be beneficial to anyone who is homeschooling high school, but none of them are actually must-dos. The line between should and must is sometimes pretty narrow. In this case, I'm going to use the should word. Dare I call it the SH word? Probably not a good idea. I'm going to use that word in terms of things that I think that people would be benefited by and it would be best for people to do. But I'm not saying that if you don't do them, you won't be successful. I'm just saying you increases your chances by doing these things. But more on that in a little bit. I would like first to just tell you what resources I have available in case you've never been to my blog before. It is annieandeverything.com, and there you will find all sorts of articles written about all sorts of stages of homeschooling high school, as well as curriculum reviews and things to do about issues that you're having with your teen and how to plan and prep and make it through the next day. I also have some products for sale there. I did write a book. My first book was aimed mostly at moms who are just starting out and are just starting to do their research, especially those that are getting overwhelmed by everything they're reading and seeing and hearing about all the things that they're supposed to be doing. And so I wrote this book to help moms like that realize that they can distill this whole research process down to just a couple of things. And once they have researched, then they are given confidence to make decisions about what they want to require of their teen and what curriculum to pick. It takes you step by step through that entire process, and there are forms to fill out. And the whole idea is to build confidence so that by the time you finish this book and worked through all the forms, you have a plan for the next 4 years, or 5 if you choose to go that route, that you can follow. Doesn't mean the plan can't get changed later, but it does give you a starting point that you can feel confident about, that you're not missing anything important. And so that's what my first book is. It's called Cure the Fear of Homeschooling High School. And again, It takes you from square one all the way through to a plan, builds your confidence level. And that's available both as a printable PDF, and also you can buy an actual paperback copy on Amazon. But the place to start is on my website, because that will give you links to both of the ways to buy. I also wrote a second book. It's called Save Your Sanity While Homeschooling High School. This is more of just a reading book. There's no forms to fill out. This is about managing expectations and dealing with issues that come up as you're homeschooling high school so that you can feel more successful while you're in the trenches. Honestly, I believe we make it harder than it needs to be a lot, and we get stressed out about stuff that we don't need to get stressed out about. And so I'm kind of known for just presenting a practical, common sense outlook. And so that's what this book will do for you. Again, it's called Save Your Sanity While Homeschooling High School. It also is available as a printable PDF and a paperback on Amazon. Again, head to the website, look under the shop menu item, and you'll see those two books there. The third thing I have for sale is a transcript form. It's a fill-in PDF. If you're at the point where you're ready to make transcripts to send to colleges, this is a quick and easy way to do it. Just get all your grades calculated, and then all you need to do with this is fill in the blanks and print it out. Super easy. And the last thing that I've got going on that you would get started with on my website is a community, an online community for Christian moms who are homeschooling high school. It's to kind of take the place of social media if you don't want to be on there, or it can be an addendum or a supplement for social media. This is a place for Christian moms to be able to talk from their hearts about the things that are valuable to them in regards to homeschooling high school or even life. It's called Hugs for Homeschooling High School. It is a paid membership group, costs $10 a month, but we are in there praying for one another and building one another up and sharing resources, and it's a safe place where we don't have to hide our Christianity or risk offending people by expressing it. And so I encourage you to check that out too if you fit into that mindset of just wanting to have a place that's safer than social media. So those are my resources, and feel free to go to the website and browse and take a look around. But I did promise that I was going to share one thing, actually more than one thing, to build you up today. And so I asked people that are in my Hugs group, what is the one thing that they wish they had known before starting to homeschool high school? And I think that it will encourage you. One lady said that homeschooling high school does have to fit your family, that you don't have to worry about what others are doing, that the idea is to not keep trying to look like everyone else, but to fashion your homeschooling high school experience in the way that's going to best meet the needs of your kid and you and the rest of your family. Not to worry about gaps or blanks, that they will all come together eventually, and that the main thing is to not compare yourselves to others and feel like you're coming up short. Here's what another lady said. And it's very similar. She said, not everyone fits into the same mold. So let go of the idea of fitting into the right box. Relax and breathe. Even homeschooling high school is a learning process. It will change as you go. You're not going to do it the same way senior year that you started out doing it in ninth grade year. And it's okay not to get it right away. I think we put such expectations on ourselves that we're going to have everything figured out and it's just going to go so smoothly. And the fact is, nope, that's not always the case. But we can relax and breathe and know that this is the same for everybody. So know that now and be encouraged. And last, one other lady, she talked about what she wishes she had known before starting out was that it's okay to give herself grace, that she doesn't have to be perfect all the time, that she doesn't have to put so much pressure on herself. It is all going to work out in the end, and whatever your kid needs to learn is what they will learn. And there's a lot of stress that we don't need to place onto ourselves. And I just love the way she said to give yourself grace. So let's do that today. As you head about your day, remember that it doesn't have to fit the same mold as the person next to you, that you can do what works best for your family, and that you need to give yourself grace about this learning process and trust that it is all going to work out. And that's what we're here for at the podcast, is to give you the tools and resources you need to do just that. Alrighty? So I hope you'll come back again next time. I'm looking forward to this journey with you. Take care. This has been an episode of the It's Not That Hard to Homeschool High School podcast. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, if you learned something new, please leave a review on whatever platform you've been listening on today. And also click the subscribe button so that you won't miss an episode. If you want the information that was talked about today, including links to whatever resources were mentioned, then go to the AnnieandEverything.com website, click on podcast in the top menu, and search for this very episode. And there you'll find all the information that you want. Thanks again for being here. I'll see you next time.